All right, today is a very special day. I got my man Zeke Dixon here from Documentary TV. Zeke was the one that put me on YouTube and made me somewhat of a YouTube sensation.
That's right.
It was what, 10 years?
7 years ago.
7 years ago?
Yeah. The very first day I met you, we filmed you. I knew those videos. That's one thing I'm good at, right? I can detect personalities that are great for television, for I guess for the internet or whatever. I've come from a television background, and I knew those videos was going to do great, you know. And I think we probably did 7 or 8 videos since.
Oh my God!
We just dropped one. I dropped one. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Doberman Insider. You guys haven't checked it out? Go to
right
my
here.
channel. There you go. Check it out right there. Right there. Okay.
Right there.
Right there.
And don't forget to subscribe with them Documentary TV again right here.
Up there.
Yeah.
Hey man, this virtual studio is the bomb, baby. I love it.
Right?
I love it.
You know, we are a Generation X, right? So we're drinking out of hose pipes when we play ball outside.
Oh my
we
God.
come in before the lights come on in the street.
Yes, sir.
You know, so we look at things different now. We got more years behind us than we do in front of us.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we pay more close attention to what's going on in the world. So what I do every morning, I watch CNN because I need to know what's going on in the world. We already know what's going on in LA. Right. And today, I don't know what happened, but I woke up at like 6:40 in the morning. Well, that's late, 6:40 in the morning, and I'm seeing all of these sob stories that P. Diddy is putting up. So I want to see what you think about that, man.
I've been thinking about it because I knew we were going to talk about it, and
Right.
it's a thing to talk about right now, right? It just is what it is. One of the things I do on my channel, I avoid subjects like this,
Right?
Because it's divisive. I'm gonna say this straight out the box. If P. Diddy was my homeboy, we'd be whooping his ass right now.
But didn't you go to school with him?
Oh, yeah, we ain't my homeboy though. We did go to.
You went to college with him?
Howard. I went to Howard. We were there at the same time. Yes, sir. I did see him a couple of times. He wasn't there that long though. As a father of a child,
Yeah.
my son or my daughter. I have a son and a daughter. I wouldn't want to see that kind of behavior out of either one of them. I wouldn't want to see him behaving like that.
Yeah.
And I definitely wouldn't want her to, like, if I saw a man put hands on my daughter, we'd be talking about
Yeah, we have a
penitentiary.
conversation.
We'd be talking about jail time for me, for real. Because that's just, and that's what I say. I feel like Puffy need to get his butt whipped. I mean, I'm talking like right off the slave ship whooping.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm not even talking about
manhandling.
I'm talking about painful.
Yeah.
Torture. I mean, it's just a bad thing. And I say all that because another thing, like for me, I don't like solving black people's problems with jail, right? I feel like, you know, we got a lot of work to get done. We got a lot of things to do. We can still be productive, right? So we need to whoop his, monitor his behavior. Like I saw the apology. It keep popping up on my Instagram feed, his apology. I don't even watch it, man. I don't care what you got to say about that. Who cares, dude? Like, I saw what I saw. At this point, let's whoop your let's monitor your behavior, and let's just move forward. Oh, and last thing, get that girl her reparations. I think she got $30 million. I'm gonna say we put another 100, 200 on it, and let her live her life. You know, and if she want to be there when we whooping his, let her be there when we whooping.
The thing is, there's a statute of limitation, right? So the district attorney of the LA County was reached out, and they said that they would have pressed charges, but because the incident happened in 2016, statute of limitations 5 years, they ain't got a case, even though they got video.
Right.
My thing is that we living now in a post-OJ era.
Right.
Like the cops not even trying to figure out who's at fault. Like, we're both of you guys going to jail, and let the judge determine who's at fault, right?
Right.
Because 50, 60 years ago, not that long ago, was just 25, 30 years ago, that you can have an argument with your woman, whether it's physical or verbal, and the police come, and the police ask the woman, does she wants to press charges? She says no. Mm-hmm. But she's under duress because she's in fear of what's going to happen when she closed the door and the police are away.
Right.
So my thing is, man, is like, I really think that for a man to ever put his hands on another woman in that fashion, now, you can put your hands on a woman in a good way, you know, talking dirty after dark, but to put your hands on a woman where it's causing pain, you're doing it in rage, it's really a sign of a weak dude, because he wouldn't do that to another guy. It wouldn't be happening. And I just feel that this right here is going to hit him where it hurts the most. You know what that is? His money.
Right.
Everybody going to distance themselves. All the corporate sponsors.
No doubt.
Because, you know, one of his biggest trolls is 50 Cent.
Yeah.
50's on him.
50's on him.
You know, so, you know, I listen, even nowadays here in California, I don't know how it is in other states, right? But in California, let's say me and my woman get into an argument, and I pick up my TV and I throw my TV down. Isn't that violent in nature? Mm-hmm. Yes. They're going to jail for that. So you really got to watch your behavior and think about what you want your daughter or your son to be abused by somebody outside the camp like that anyway. You know, we on our soapbox here. We really don't never talk about politics or what's going on, but this is dog talk. So we're talking about everything.
Right. Well, let me say something real quick about that, though, because I feel like one of the most important things that we as fathers, you got to raise your sons properly, right? And one of the things I always told my son is, like, we don't respond emotionally, right? Like when he was a little boy, he cried about things, and I had to, throughout his, you know, he's only 11, so we're still working on it. But wean him off of all those emotional responses, because those things will get you in trouble. Right. And I don't, you know, and I just feel like a man ruled by emotion is dangerous.
It's going to make bad decisions.
Making bad decisions. Yeah. And we too powerful of beings, especially if you leave us in a space with just women around or a woman. Yeah. You know, we can be very destructive. And I mean, that's why I say, like, I tell my son all the time, like, you know, let's think our way through issues. Yeah. You know, and let's not be so emotional. I don't know Puffy. I don't know Puffy's, like, I don't know how he grew up and all that stuff. And my thing is this, so I know right now we're talking about Puffy. The reality of it is this happens every day. All over. And sometimes it ain't famous people. Sometimes it's dudes that ain't got no money. They can't pay reparations. They can't. Yep. You know, they can't try to make the girl or make their victims whole by giving them some money.
Yeah, they don't have that umbrella policy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like as a society, that's why, like, you know, the whole 50 Cent thing, like, I'm not into, like, trolling. No, this is a serious situation. Yeah. You know, like I said, unfortunately, the way the society is set up, I mean, like I said, really, the justice system is supposed to be dealing with this. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's just what it is. But the justice system say it's past the statute of limitations on that particular incident, so they can't do nothing about it. That's why I say, like, we just need to get boy a whooping.
But you know what comes out now? Now you got, because he's done that to several people, so now everybody has the red carpet to say, okay, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. So he's gonna have to file BK or something, because everybody's coming out the woodworks. Right. Puffy been out in the industry down there 30-something years. So during that time, he did the couch audition aspects in a very, very harsh way. Right. You know, so
one thing I do that I never, like, listen, I'm not stupid, so I understand what your supposition is, but I don't put no crime on nobody that I don't know. Right. Like, even before I saw the videotape, I didn't know that he beat on people. Yeah. But now, obviously, I seen the videotape, so I know in that situation he did. And like I said, you know, using my life's experiences, I'm sure he has done it again. Yeah. But I'm not gonna say, you know, put it on him in terms of, like, as if I know the details of different things. Right. So what I will say is, anyone else that comes out, you know, if you are a victim, I hope you're made whole. I hope you get your I use the word reparations. I'm sure it's not always probably appropriate, or it can be mistaken for something else. But reparations just mean, like, you're repaired, you're made whole. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I would say they're punitive damages.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. Because I think, you know, like, obviously the man has been around since the late 90s. And I'm sure that wasn't the first time or the last time he did something like that.
The first time he actually been recorded. And I've heard of freak-offs and freak fests and all that stuff, but the physical violence aspect never really dove down into it, nor did I care, because you know, people are always gonna hate on folks who got money, so you never know. But speaking of more drama for your mama, you know, we're talking about that Club Shay Shay where they had Cat Williams on there. Yeah, I got views on the stuff that was spewed online during the interview. I'm sure you do. I'm gonna go with you first, because I got a book loaded
About what?
about the whole situation. Like, for example, I love my people.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm an African American, black, what they call me in the 70s, Negro, colored. I'm all that, right? So for me, I'm a little bit hurt because I don't see any ethnics or races or nationalities doing that to each other, even though we know it's happening. Mm-hmm. But they're not going on social media or on TV and doing it to each other. We know that there are whites that have issues with each other. Mm-hmm. We know that Jewish people have issues with other Jewish people. We know that the Ethiopians have problems with each other. But they're not putting that shit online. They're not putting it on where the whole world can benefit from it. And now you got Monique and Kat doing shows together based off of that. You got names being put out there, a lot of these blacks who are in the industry who made it the hard. They didn't take an elevator ride to the top.
Right.
They took the stairs.
Right.
Right. And now you got a guy that gets online for whatever intents and purposes. He throws a lot of proverbial shade on these other actors. To me, we call it in the hood hating.
Right.
You know, so I think that there's a time and a place, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I disagree a little bit. I totally agree with you. I feel like, you know, as a you know, I would just say, but like with me and my wife, right? And we have issues, we keep it in house.
Right.
You know, I think that's the dignified thing to do, right? As grown-ups, right? Like if I got a problem with you, I'm not going to like go online and say, look, man, you know, whatever.
Right.
Tell the whole world for you to hear my beef. But at the same time, Cat Williams is an entertainer. Right. That's how he talks to the world. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't. So that's what I'm saying. So like I said, I come from the film industry, right? I know how entertainers get down. I know how the business works. I know how it can be frustrating sometimes to talk to somebody, and then, or you can see the system, the machine of the industry working against you because of your relationship with other people. So and all that does happen. It's real. So I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna tell Cat Williams how he should respond. Like I said, me personally, I would like to be dignified and like to keep it in house. Like I don't need to air my dirty laundry all over the internet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't tell Cat Williams how he does it. You know, at the end of the day, it got messy because as a country, we messy.
Right.
We love mess. You know what I'm saying? That's what number, like even with the whole, you were talking about 50 Cent earlier and Puffy, it's like, we love mess. Like we love taking advantage of mess. Like you said, you made money off the Shannon Sharp interview. I mean, the internet made money off that. You know, like Shannon Sharp made money, Cat Williams made money.
Yep.
I mean, I can't tell you how many reaction channels made money.
Right.
So it's been money generating, but that's how the industry works. And like, I'm not going to just blame or point the finger at Cat Williams or Shannon Sharp and say, oh, y'all should have kept that in house. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, as a community, we consume mess. Especially like here in the Western world, we've been buying National Enquirer magazine since I was a baby.
Yeah.
And we just love that junk. You know, I don't love it, but I can see as a society we love it. You know?
So I'm gonna piggyback on that, but I watched this show called on YouTube called Drink Champs. Very good interviews, and they talk to the people who are rooted from the community. LL Cool J.
Yeah.
This guy named MCA, whatever. MCA.
Yeah.
And he had an interview that I saw today, and I thought Drink Champs handled it real professional. He said when he had 50 Cent on, he didn't discuss Ja Rule and their beef. And when he had Ja Rule, he didn't discuss 50 Cent's beef with him.
Right.
He said, because he's from Brooklyn, he said he didn't think it was funny, but social media would have thought it was funny to talk about it, right? So he didn't expound on any of that, right? And so he was interviewing MCA, I think that's how you pronounce it, MC8 on his beef with DJ Quick. And he said, you know, they talked about it and how the beef was created was by an accident. You got the Bloods against the Crips, but they was talking about how Suge Knight he's from Compton, he's a Blood, and he told MCA that no matter what, nobody's gonna mess with your mama's house. Because they didn't live too far. Compton ain't that big.
No, it ain't.
So they said nobody's messing with nobody's house, no matter what kind of beef we got with each other. Right, because he was managing both of them.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, he used to manage DJ Quick, but DJ Quick was never part of Death Row Records.
Right.
And so I think that there's a way, when I saw Drink Champs, how he handled it, when he talked about it, I thought that makes sense, because one of the most popular shows on Bravo, dude, is Housewives of Atlanta, and now Potomac. Because of why? Drama. Right. And it's making us look even more foolish, but we're becoming more famous. We're monetizing behind it. But do we have to monetize because of that? You know, is it the only option to monetize it when we get on and put a clown suit on? Right? Somebody's in my ear telling me, ask her this question, ask her that question.
Right.
And I just think that sometimes, you know, there's a way to handle things, because, you know, there's going to be judgments throughout the whole internet. Social media is not what it was 10 years ago.
No.
And it's going to be different in the next 10 years.
Right.
And I just think that as men, like, I got beef with a couple of cats, right? I got real beef. Like, we can't be in the same baseball field, that kind of beef.
Okay.
And it's one of them is about bullshit, and the other is about respect with me and my family. But I'm not going to put it out there.
Right.
Because one of them he's pretty known. He's in the industry.
Right.
But we know where we stand, and we know our limits, right?
Right.
So I think that that's a more professional way, because I'm a homeowner, man. I got to lose.
Right.
And everybody with more money, more problems. Everybody want to sue you for this, sue you for that. I'm like, I don't need to be giving a lawyer no $10,000 retainer fee on some bullshit.
Right.
Be careful what you say, because it always come back and somebody can take it and run with it.
Yeah.
You know, now they got AI that can put a voice on you that you said this and you really didn't say it.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, that to me, but going back to some more drama in our community, Stephen A. Smith, man.
What do you do now?
Okay, so Stephen A.'s from HBCU. I see he went to Winston-Salem. All right, cool. And I gave him props because, you know, 10, 15, 18 years ago, Stephen A. was a sideline reporter. Before that, he was an editor for the Philadelphia News.
A reporter, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I always admire guys who are creative writers. To me, when you are a great writer and you're a great reader, that means you have a sense of intelligence, a level of intelligence, right? Yeah. Always. And my mom always said that if a child learns to read, if he loves to read, learning will be easy for him.
Yeah.
Right? So now I'm watching how Stephen A. now is just becoming the bad guy of the media. You know, you got Stacks disliking him. You got the other guy that used to be on Fox disliking him. Everybody is really on top of him as if he's the most hated. And it all happened once he got that big paycheck from ESPN. ESPN, AKA Disney, right? And to me, it seems that Shaquille O'Neal said the best thing about money. He said, money is the truth serum. He says, when a person has money, the real person comes out.
Right.
And I'm seeing that in Stephen A., and I'm not liking his attitude, how he got Max Kellerman kicked off the show, and he literally said that Max Kellerman didn't have enough cachet, but Max was outshining him, and Terrell Owens said, hell damn, man, Max, you more black than Stephen A. You know, so to me, it's like, you hear of the rumbles, and it's more heightened when it's people of color that is doing it to each other.
Right.
Because, you know, we as a people, we came a long way, and we got a long way to go. But we need to start stopping that crab in the barrels syndrome.
Right.
You know, one up. We call it one up.
Right.
I don't like that. I'm like, you know me, so it's like, if I got something you need, is yours within reason. Yeah. You got something that I need, it's mine within reason.
Right.
You know, and we try to help each other.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And I learned that from a lot of my other friends who are from other nationalities, my Jewish friends, they all help each other. If they got beef, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
You know? And you take a bit from everybody's culture and you make your own house a home. That's how I look at it, right? But have you been following up on Stephen A? Have you heard about it? I mean,
well, let me say this. I'm not a big fan of Stephen A. The weird thing about it is, I used to watch First Take with Stephen A. and Skip Bayless. Yeah. Actually, I didn't really watch that because I don't like neither one of them. I don't like Skip Bayless or Stephen A.
But you watched when Shannon was on there.
I love Shannon Sharp on when he was with Skip, because I just love that. I love that folksy down home country dude. You know, setting his voice straight. You know, just setting him straight. So I love Shannon Sharp for that. Stephen A, like I said, I respect Stephen A. I appreciate him. I like to see people move to the upper echelons of industry, and that's what he's done in terms of broadcasting. So I'm happy for him. But I'm not often, I don't find myself entertained by jokes or, I'm gonna be honest with you. A long time ago, I had an issue with Stephen A, and it came down to, it was LeBron James was signing a contract, and Stephen A was really hard on LeBron because he didn't want to take less money.
Right.
And I'm just like, damn, why are we talking about first of all, we're talking about another man's money, right? Like, what job you go to when you say, oh, you don't have to pay me as much as I should get paid?
You asking for more.
Right, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I just want to, this is my thing. Let's stop acting like these NBA careers aren't jobs.
Right.
You know, I mean, these numbers sound huge. I mean, listen, we live in Southern California. Life is expensive, right? You make $30 million.
You ain't taking $30 million home.
Exactly.
You in a different tax bracket home, boy.
By the time you take your taxes out,
your agent,
and then all the infrastructure
the union
you gotta
dues,
pay, the infrastructure you gotta pay for them. You gotta have at that level. You gotta have an assistant. You probably got a chef,
CPAs,
accountants,
all that,
business managers. You might see $6-7 million.
Yeah.
So let's stop acting like, that LeBron James taking less money. It's just LeBron James getting less money.
Right.
That's the first thing. But then the second thing is, really the first thing, that ain't your business anyway.
Right.
Let that man do business with who he got to do business with. No one's coming to Disney saying, look, I don't think you need to be paying Stephen A. $10-15 million a year, whatever he makes. I don't know what he makes.
Yeah,
but I don't talk about what you make. Whatever you get is what you deserve to get. That's not my business. So the one thing, like I said, as a grown man who is a fan of different sports organizations, I never involve myself in players' income, how much money they make. You know what I'm saying? If they on the team, I'm rooting for them. If they're not on the team, let's see if we can't replace them, right? So that's a big thing that I had with Stephen A. He was, probably like around 2005, 2006. He was real heavy on player salaries and players taking a haircut to make things work for the organization. So from that point on, I was never really a big fan of Stephen A.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I don't really find a lot of his jokes. I don't find funny. But but like I said, as a black man that's risen to the top, I support that. I celebrate that. I'm happy for him.
He didn't get no elevator ride to the top either.
No,
he wasn't nobody's nephew or.
No, he worked hard. He got it. He did it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, but in terms of personality and people who I like, I'm more in line with Max Kellerman, who I even though I think he's Jewish. I don't know if he's Jewish. Yeah. He's Jewish, right? And he's white, obviously. But
he's an atheist. He says, "Hey, it is what I don't care."
Yeah, I ain't worried about that.
I ain't care.
But what I want to say is that, but he's a rapper. You know what I'm saying? He used to rap. And like Terrell said, sometimes he feels blacker than. Like, I can have more conversations with Max Kellerman. He's more in tune to the things that I study and the things that I hold as important ideas.
And the thing with him is he actually knew what he was talking about.
No, that's what I'm saying. He holds those things. Yeah. Like, I mean, you don't have to be black to hold on to things.
Right.
And to respect things and hold things in a certain level of esteem, and so that you can have conversations about them and you can advocate for them. Yeah. And I felt like, Max Kellerman as an example of a white guy that had black people's sensibility. Yeah. I could ride with him on that. So
he can relate.
Yeah. So like I said, I was always a bigger fan of Max Kellerman and Shannon Sharp than I ever was of Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. Max Kellerman to me was more relatable.
Yeah,
definitely. He was in the boxing.
Oh, that's
world,
everything. Like he
tough.
was a boxing savant. Like that was his expertise.
That's his thing.
And that's another thing I'm a big fan of. I love people who have a specialty. Yeah. Who really they got their thing. You know what I'm saying? And obviously now with Stephen A. and doing First Take, he has to talk about everything.
I'm always quick to point out somebody's intelligence level, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that pretend to be intelligent and they're not.
Right.
Like, when I listen to Shannon Sharp talk, people who are not, they're listening but they're not hearing. Shannon Sharp is intelligent, bro. Like, he's academically gifted, but the foolery, it paints like, oh, he just some country dude that didn't have no running water. But we know.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if you ever go down south or if you've been down south, there's a folksiness to it, like dumb hick kind of stereotype that we give people in the South.
Yeah.
But
because I'm from the South too now, Mississippi.
Yeah. And but there's a certain, like I said, to me, intelligence is based on consistency of thoughts, right? Your expressions, right? Like if you can basically, logically walk me through a situation and have a consistent level of thought and understanding of that situation, I believe you're an intelligent person.
Yeah.
And you're a genuine person, which is one thing which I think being genuine is key to being intelligent, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of, you look at a lot of people who can be very smart, but they'll lie to you to move things and get what they want.
Yeah.
And to me, that's dubious. I'm not. That's disingenuous. I don't like that. But back to we're talking about Shannon Sharp. I feel like the folksiness, the humor, the jokes, my grandma always said.
He's on point.
Yeah, man, that's
point.
branding.
He's
branding.
on point.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, because I'm from the South, he's from the deep South.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, where
That's
we're the
deep
capital.
South.
It's the deep South.
Yeah.
But Shannon grew up where they didn't have no running water until he went to college.
Yeah.
Until he went to college. And I was raised by my grandmother too.
Yeah.
Right? My mother had problems, growing up, so my grandmother took that role.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was very relatable because I love his story, man. And they did a documentary on him on ESPN, 30 for 30.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm deep in it. Where they talk about his brother Sterling was more of a father figure to him.
Yeah.
Right? And I always thought Sterling was bad in the NFL. Like he was probably the '1 receiver until he got hurt.
Right.
And so for me, I love the fact how Shannon takes his uproots and his upbringing and his family values still to light today, where he would say that his sister still does not work. He would not let his sister work because his sister was the one that took care of the grandmother when he went off to school.
Nice.
So he said, you ain't gonna work no more.
Right.
We got you, right? When Sterling went down, Shannon kicked it in gear like, I'm gonna be the patriarch of the family. We're gonna make I love that, you know what I'm saying? So for me, when he said he had an outhouse and he never took a shower until he went to college, to me it's like, dude, he had no elevator ride to the top.
Right.
So I respect that very, very, very much because to me it's like, okay, he started from the bottom.
Yeah.
He wasn't gifted with 6'8" height.
Right.
Because you can teach skill, but you can't teach height.
Right.
And he busted his. He was like he was on special teams.
Yeah.
Anything beyond first round, you're trying out.
Yeah.
Second, third, fourth, you ain't got a guaranteed
contract.
contract.
He was like a 7th round pick.
Yeah. So
6th round,
he was
like
down there from Savannah State, and he said what got him on the team when he was on special team, and he clocked somebody when he was going out there to get, going against the other team on special team, and that's how you earn it, man. Listen, some of the best players like Terrell Owens were guys who did not get drafted first round. Right. And I always say they got something to prove. Right. And speaking of gotten something to prove, we're gonna shift gears. I want you to do a little icon right there, okay? So shifting gears.
Okay.
We'll talk about what brought me and Zeke together, which was really the canine species.
Yes, sir.
Right? And I'm not gonna ask you about Roscoe, but we're gonna put the Rotties together. We're gonna put Brutus and Roscoe together at some point, make it happen. But CDC, Center of Disease and Control, is making out a new federal law that's supposed to be active August 1st. They're making it where now that in order to import an animal, I'm thinking dogs here, that it has to be 6 months of age, and you got to have all of the rabies, which is still common, but they're making people wait until the animal is 6 months old now. Now, when an animal jumps to 6 months from 3 months from 6 months, they double in size. The crate has to be bigger because the head can't touch the crate, right? The cost of maintaining that dog until he ships goes up. Therefore, the cost increases when you're buying an animal. So an animal, for numbers purpose to import, is 3,500 euros. So that's about $4,000 because the euro dollar is stronger than the American dollar. Then you're talking about shipping overseas. That's about 2,000 euros. So that's another $2,300, right? Just imagine that's going to be almost double because this dog height weight, crate, everything has increased. I don't know if that's going to be a definite law, but CDC has posted that on their site. So what do you think about that now, though? I mean,
do they give a reason why they're changing the age? Is there a reason for that?
I think, and I'm only assuming from what I've been reading, that they're doing it because so many dogs from overseas have came over here sick. You know, with Giardia and rabies, and they're supposed to have had these vet checks,
right?
But they didn't,
right?
And they're coming over here sick, and so I guess those are the reasons why. But the federal government do what they want to do, you know.
Right.
So now people are scrounging around, saying, "Hey man, we got to get this dog quick." So now they asking me, do I know Euro breeders who have litters right now, so they can ship them out at 10 weeks of age before August get here? What do you think about the new possible law?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never imported a dog. Obviously, I deal with a lot of breeders. I know how important it is, especially for Rottweiler, Doberman, boxer breeders who really want to try to get that European blood into their programs. I know it's very important for them. I would really want to know the reason. If the reasoning is because we're getting dogs over here with rabies, then I'm like, hey, yeah, we need to go ahead and fix that, because that's a big deal. Personally, for me myself, if I was breeding dogs, I don't know that I would even bring puppies over here from overseas. Just me personally, as a personal strategy. My strategy would be more so to get titled and working dogs. So I would probably end up spending, 30, 40 grand for a titled dog, and then I would then bring over some titled bitches.
Yeah.
Some bitches.
Hey, bitches are female dogs, like heifers.
Yeah, my wife gonna kill me.
Come on now, bitches are dogs and heifers are cows.
My wife see this, she gonna be like, "What you say?" I'll be like, "Man, you gotta understand. This is a technical term."
Hey, my woman does the same thing. Can you call them female dogs?
Yeah,
I'm like,
this
no.
is a specific term, baby. Like,
in the dictionary.
Yeah, it's a specific term. Bitches.
And cows, female cows are heifers.
Yeah, so I would bring over some bitches. Couple of them. I bring a couple of bitches over.
We can say that, and it's politically correct.
Listen, man, hey, wifey, just believe me. I'm speaking specifically because these people are dog people. If I was talking to students at UCLA, I would probably not use the B word.
Dog.
But I want my audience. I want my audience to understand my expertise and be able to speak in this specific language of the industry. Anyway, give me a nice little title stud, some bitches. Mix that all up and have my program here, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how I do it. And I think at the end of the day, because I personally feel like when you buying puppies, you never know what you get. There's no guarantee. Like, and the thing about it is, listen, if I got a program and I'm producing top dogs and I got to the point where I can see what a top dog is, I might not be really wanting to sell that dog, a puppy. I'm not gonna. If I feel like a puppy's gonna be special, I'm not gonna sell that puppy. Especially if it's a program. You know what I'm saying? Like if I got a program where I'm actually trying to create and produce titled dogs, the best in the world. Like I can't.
That's my thing. Is I was telling people, I said, man, I can't have any bitches over here because I love.
We having too much fun with that.
I love animals so much that I end up being a illegal animal hoarder. I want to keep them all. Right. So it's like that's why I only deal with studs because they can't get pregnant.
Right.
They create the chaos, but I can't. And I'm not here all the time to be monitoring, newly born puppies. So that's a lot of work too. Breeders, trust me, making babies is the easy part. Taking care of them once they're born is the hard part. Your life stops for at least 2 or 3 weeks, or you lose the litter. I tried buying dogs from breeders here in the United States, and they haven't been successful.
Right.
So I do have a connection in Poland that guides me to the right breeders that he knows because he is the dog father of Dobermans over there. He actually owns the website, The Dog Father, that I interviewed last week. Right? And I trust him. We go back 12 years. Okay. So when I wire money to a specific breeder he tells me to, I know I'm getting what I want. Now, with that being said, there still ain't no guarantees that this dog is gonna be what I want him to be. I've gotten rid of several dogs that and pay good money, and I still end up rehoming him for free to somebody who has a better purpose. I don't just breed pets, but I breed pets with a purpose, right? So for me, it's like, I tell people all the time, I said, listen, I paid child support for 18-something years, right? It's just by law, or I lose my driver license, or I get my passport put on hold. There's no way that I'm gonna have a dog that poops more than me, goes to the vet more than I go to the doctor, and you don't contribute to the house? That ain't happening. I got 2 cats in there to be pets. I don't buy pets to create more bills. I buy pets for a purpose. And with that being said, I do believe in putting them through some extensive training. Yeah. I do believe in obedience because pets are a liability, right, and they're also a luxury, not a requirement. Right. With that being said, they have to listen to you when they break off that leash, right, or when they get out that backyard. Right. Because when they don't listen to you, you can lose everything just like that.
No doubt, no doubt.
So yeah, for me, my boys have to get some kind of obedience and protection title. And during that process, it's almost like the Navy SEAL. I deal with Al Benuelos. During that process, he tells me, he's very candid and says that, hey, this dog good for obedience, but he ain't taking the pressure for protection. Now remember, the protection is a controlled environment. We're not bringing strange dogs and people and putting poles up his ass and choking them out. We put them through the basic training that the local PDs put their dogs through that you never see online. You never see police canine training. You know why? Because the community at large would think it'd be cruel. But in hindsight, we're trying to make sure this dog can go into a school building and clear it with all the lights off and not be scared of the dark. Right. Every dog ain't gonna do that. You gotta put them through pressure. You gotta put them through scenarios. And so I like my dogs to be trained to be ready for battle. Hopefully I won't ever have to go through it, because you got a dog named Roscoe, yes, but I got a gun named Roscoe, right? So he gives me about 10 seconds to get ready. That's all I need, right? But you got a Roddy, you've had a pit, your pit just passed away. Yeah. All dogs go to heaven.
They sure do.
How did you end up getting a Roddy of all the breeds that you have been around with? What made you pick that specific breed? Because I thought you would have got a Dogo Argento.
So you know the weird thing about it is, my first introduction to the Rottweiler was through the movie The Omen. Remember that movie?
Yep.
So I always said to myself, as probably like a 7 or 8 year old kid, I was like, I will never get a Rottweiler because those are the devil's dogs. You know, that's what I thought. Like I was like, I'm never getting them. You know.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I lumped the Doberman in with them as well because they were at the same markets, right? They look very similar. Yeah. And if you look at them throughout, American cinema history, there's always a bad Doberman in somebody's movie, right? You're scaring somebody. But at about the age, once I became an adult and I understood that was just a movie, and once I actually been making movies, I understood how movies work. I was like, whatever. I had a friend, he had a Rottweiler when I first moved to California, and I was like, oh man, this dog is so powerful, the presence. His dog was huge, probably like 140 pounds. Damn. He was oversized, but at that time I didn't know any better. Right. I thought that's a dog, you know. And at that point, I could have took a Doberman, I could have took a Rottweiler, I could have took a Saint Bernard. I didn't care about size. The bigger the better for me.
Right.
So I went through most of my adulthood just wanting a Rottweiler because I had this relationship with this dog. His name was Brutus, I believe his name was.
That's what my Roddy's name is, Brutus.
Yeah, or maybe I'm tripping. It was
Bruno.
No, I think it was Brutus actually. I think it was Brutus but this is like 25 years. That's how you old, man. Like 25 years ago. 25 years ago. But anyway, this dog was beautiful. He was a wonderful pet, wonderful protector. So I always said, when I get a house, I'm gonna get a Rottweiler. Because I always believe that, like you, I believe a pet should have a purpose. Yeah. You know, I rescued my pit bull, so he didn't have much of a purpose other than he was a companion.
A good pet.
And he was a reason for me to get out and go walk and hike.
He was a pet, not a pit. Yeah, he's a PET, not a PIT.
Exactly. But with Roscoe and getting Roscoe, I got married. Since, I had been married, I had a couple of kids, I had a house. So I felt like, like you said, you get a dog in the house that can give you, 10, 15 seconds.
That's all you need.
To get to your safe, to get to wherever the situation's coming from.
Right.
And so that's what I got him for. Very happy with the purchase. He's a great dog.
And your dog has his tail too.
Yeah, he has a tail.
Mine got his tail too.
Yeah, that was a decision I made just based off of doing documentary TV, seeing the direction the breed was going in, understanding that most Rottweilers do use their tail. A tail is like a sail.
It's
or
a rudder.
A rudder, yeah. So it's really good for a dog that's going to be athletic, that's going to run and jump. And that's what I want my dog to do, right? Like one thing about a Rottweiler, they're going to be at least 115 to like 130 pounds.
That's a good weight. That's a good weight to keep him right in that level.
Yeah. I ain't trying to pick that dog up and put him in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
I want him to jump in there and let's go, So that's one of the big things, I wanted an athletic Rottweiler. So I felt keeping his tail, since I was going to keep him athletic and keep him at a good weight, let him keep his tail. And the breeder I met wasn't cutting the tail anyway, so it wasn't, so it was just kind of one of those things that was cool.
Brutus is probably, he's a very athletic dog. He jumps. Yeah. He's gotten out of this kennel. He's jumped up in his retaining wall and got over. I'm like, how the hell did he get out of here? Right. So he's very athletic. He's fast, right?
Yeah.
And I did a show. My last video. I talked about the rudder is like the cheetah. The cheetah can get top speed of 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And their tail is their rudder to make those quick shifts at that speed.
Right.
And that Roddy, when he goes airborne, he's able to maneuver and then drop down and go for the bite when we're doing protection training.
Yeah.
And to me, it just looks better, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I got Dobies with no tails.
Yeah.
Because when you have a tail on a Dobie, and his ears are natural, they may be coon hounds or whatever. But a Roddy is just the tail, just to me, it looks complete. Yeah. This concludes our show.
Yeah, it is.
But we're gonna do this again. So in the meantime, click the button to subscribe. Make sure you get the notification and watch the commercials. Until then, next time.